Hello again, welcome back to Business Life. Ghana is planning to raise $1 billion through domestic bonds to fund cocoa purchases from farmers ahead of the 2026-2027 crop season as the country seeks to overhaul how it finances and delivers cocoa to global buyers. More in this report.
Ghana, the world's second largest cocoa producer, has faced severe market volatility and funding pressures following the steep fall in cocoa prices after the commodity's historic rally in 2024, forcing the government to rethink funding arrangements for its farmers and cocoa purchases. According to Chief Executive of Cocoa Board, Dr. Randy Abe, the bond expected before the new cocoa season begins around August would be denominated in cedis as part of efforts to reduce the country's overdependence on dollar funding and foreign lenders. Ghana's cocoa financing challenges have also exposed deeper liquidity problems within the country's state-controlled cocoa purchasing system. The country's state-owned cocoa buyer, Produce Buying Company, has reportedly struggled to purchase cocoa from farmers after accumulating debts of 673 million Ghana cedis. The debt burden has reportedly left the country facing possible asset seizures. Amid the cocoa debt crisis, Ghana's inflation is beginning to show renewed pressure, rising from 3.4% year-on-year in April 2026, up from 3.2% in March, marking the first increase since December 2024.
Meanwhile, Deputy Managing Director of the Produce Buying Company, Thomas Isikuma, says the $1 billion may be made available to augment the efforts of licensed buying companies and other off-takers in the purchase of cocoa beans.
I'm not sure the $1 billion you're talking about is going to be the whole amount that is going to finance the season. I think what Cocoa Board is trying to bring out is a hybrid. Instead of solely relying on off-takers to come in with money to purchase Ghana's cocoa, they are going to supplement what the efforts of the off-takers with this $1 billion. And I think that is where companies like PBC and other local licensed buying companies who don't have the capacity, the muscles, and the collaterals to be able to take facilities from the banks will be assisted with this $1 billion. So I'm not sure it is a whole amount that is going to be used to finance the coming season. But because it's going to be a hybrid system, this is going to augment what off-takers will do.
Mr. Isi spoke earlier on beyond the numbers. Now, but banking consultant Dr. Richmond Etiahini is questioning whether government has done enough to restore investor confidence as Cocoa Board targets $1 billion bond issue to help fund cocoa purchases for next crop season. Speaking earlier on the marketplace with my colleague Winston Taki, Dr. Etiahini stressed that all necessary structural measures must be put in place to ensure Cocoa Board successfully secures the funding target.
Have we got over the deficit trusts after the DDEP? That's the first question that has to be addressed. The deficit trust is that you go and buy a Ghanaian government bond for you to be told that we are not going to pay, we're paying up to 15 years. So that is how they need to work on the confidence of it so that, especially, the foreign banks will find it very difficult to participate. But the local banks, they may not have any option to go and buy it if the coupon rate is good. But if you look at it from the international bank position, from what happened to us, there is what we call deficit trust. And that what they need to work hard on it. It's not just the figures. It's not just what you see or what you don't see. What they did has broken the confidence of the whole bond system. And it's not going to take a year. It will take quite a long time. So my only worry is that have they been able to build a confidence, or just because we see that treasury bill rate is going down, we think that bonds would function? That is the question that needs to be dealt extensively and practically so that this one will go and meet the target that is set for.
Great.
Apart from that, it's a very laudable thing. But like George said, George made a very good point. When we go and borrow from the bond market in Europe, the cost at times the cost was about 8%, excluding the exchange losses and what goes in. But so if you can secure it locally, then it means you're making a very good business.
Away from cocoa-related stories, the Ghana Revenue Authority has announced an extension of the amnesty for residents with income sources from foreign countries. They are therefore encouraging them to file their annual returns without paying penalties. The deadline for the annual tax filing has been extended to the end of May this year. Speaking to Joy Business, Commissioner for Domestic Tax Division at the Ghana Revenue Authority, Dr. Martin Yamboriga, explained that this initiative is backed by the law under the Special Voluntary Disclosure Program.
The Income Tax Act, particularly if you look at Section 3 of the Act and then Section 111, it requires that if you are a resident person and then you have a source of income from outside the country, you'll be required to disclose that also as part of your income, and then you pay tax on it. So we are using what we call the global source. Once you are a resident and you earn income, whether within the country or outside the country, you'll be required to file tax on that income, and then you pay tax on it. So it will be your income that you earn locally and the income that you also earn from a foreign source. However, there are people who have foreign source of income, but they were not disclosing it. And we have a law that we passed that also, we call it a special voluntary disclosure program. It was meant to encourage people who have been earning income from foreign source, but for one reason or the other, we're not disclosing it. So the first thing is to kind of grant them some kind of amnesty that if you are a resident person and then you have an income that you have earned from a foreign source, but for some reasons you've not been disclosing it, you could willingly come and now disclose that income to us, and then whatever penalty that would have been applied will waive the penalty for you. So if you are refiling any return that is up to 2023, you have to come under the voluntary disclosure, special voluntary disclosure form, which we are provided. It is available in our website. You can go in there and then you file. But if it is a current income tax return that you are filing, straight away, what the law requires is that you need to disclose your local source of income as well as your foreign source of income, and then you'll be taxed based on that.
Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. John Sidesiama, has bemoaned Africa's inability to effectively implement and scale digital finance policies despite years of innovation and pilot programs across the continent. Speaking at the Future of Finance Dialogue at the 3i Africa Summit, Dr. Siama said Africa already has enough ideas, frameworks, and fintech experiments, but continues to struggle with execution.
The Future of Finance Dialogue during the 2026 3i Africa Summit, the governor of the Bank of Ghana stressed that regulatory sandboxes should no longer be viewed as temporal testing grounds, but as pathways to full market participation and innovation growth. Also speaking to Joy Business at the event.
So how do we move from policy to execution? Across Africa, we do not lack ideas, and I made that point strongly yesterday. We do not lack the frameworks, nor do we lack the pilots. We have these in abundance. The harder question is how we move from controlled experimentation to scaled and regulated deployment. Now, regulatory sandboxes have served a purpose, but they must become bridges to real market entry. The measure of a sandbox is not how many firms are admitted into it, but how many sound, well-governed institutions do graduate into productive participation in the regulated market.
Chief Executive of Hidel Technology Consulting has helped Kofi urge fintech companies across Africa to prioritize collaboration in order to accelerate growth within the digital finance ecosystem.
Digital finance or fintechs like your Momo, all these organizations, there are personal problems around, how do we deal with trust? How do we deal with consumer protection as an ecosystem? How do we work with the central bank to ensure that your money is safe, but also we are innovating? So today's event was bringing together all the big players in digital finance and the central bank and the bank and the big banks itself and the funders to have real conversations about how we can ensure that digital finance in Ghana helps build the economy.
The Future of Finance dialogue brought together policymakers, regulators, investors, and technology leaders to discuss the future of digital finance and innovation in Africa.
Government Feed the Industry program is prioritizing access to raw materials for the domestic manufacturing sector as part of efforts to deepen industrialization and boost export earnings. More in this report.
Ghana has significant potential to drive economic growth and create jobs, but much of that potential remains underutilized. Unlocking these opportunities will require a strategic shift in trade policy alongside reforms to address cumbersome trade facilitation systems. Speaking at a joint World Bank ASET-ISA seminar in Accra, the Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, Elizabeth Ofosu-Ejare, highlighted government's Feed the Industry program, which is aimed at boosting the local manufacturing sector through improved access to raw materials.
The President of the Republic has been clear that the old model of exporting raw materials while importing finished goods into our country belongs to our past, it's in our history. Our new objective is to add value. Nowhere is this more visible than in our approach to cocoa and gold, the two commodities that have defined Ghana's export story for generations. I repeat this portion. The ban on the export of key raw materials is to ensure they feed our domestic industry first, to be able to produce the volumes needed for both the local and export markets.
And that's our package by way of Business Life. I am Pious, Kojo, Backah. See you soon.
The story of malfunctioning traffic lights at the Awoshia-Blekuma Highway is not new. For motorists and pedestrians along this stretch, a faulty traffic light has become more than an inconvenience. Residents say it has become a death trap. The traffic lights have been off for years despite demonstrations and repeated appeals to authorities. Each time they are repaired, residents say the relief is temporary. Soon after, the lights go off again, and when they do, crashes return. This stretch of road has witnessed the loss of many lives. Hit-and-run incidents have become common here. One of those grieving is Kwekwa Samoa. He lost his only son in a crash on the Awoshia-Blekuma stretch. He believes negligence on the road cost his son's life.
10th September, day Wednesday, anopa. Timi sore na me ko bia me shop. Ana na danfo bisa me say na me nua prince way. Am so we bia wada won sorry because one so wada me next room. Na me say dey asem na o se o oba. To kan se oba no. Be 10 minutes time na o mai. Teche me follow up bisa me say obebusa prince ase. Wo se oba but me ma asem ko na bibia si ana na so ye bibia na. Ba me ko hwe dan na no dem no. Na onna ho sa time no teche no beka chom se omo ko enya police station akọ confirm assembly tina fe na madwinu ma yeme basa teche no beka chire me se omo ko enya police station omo se accident be for traffic light na so este prince oka ho na ono de wa free ba motor rider no de omo arash na de no ko hospital to kan sa chire me any be 10 minutes na see at the free enya police station by say accident be here na o ma kire say opapa wa ha to mo de metina aka mu eko sin ho di twa mu eko police hospital no o mo ka kire me plane say the friend prince no dey wa film ba rather no dey or admission ti ampa me di na chi ene re ko mo kire wa ko ene say eyi no ba ya no say e me ba prince no fadi ehame pa na se de be si ahawa koduru bia no oni bibia be ye bio because makohu se nipa no ade no accident na si makohu ne body or mortuary ti den na meka bio ni bibi aka bi say me ba no wo film nti me kasa haye me ne o ma me dia na ya tro haye pa.
He's now pleading with authorities to fix the traffic lights before another family suffers the same loss.
Sa traffic light no it started say asay no ache so many years ni nti so obi cross kwan no krampo a ka bi no ho be gina ma o say cross gise wo gina ho a kumtamo a main traffic light no ebe block wo La Paz Malam Road so ansa na mo etimi ada ho ama wotimi across nti ade sɛ de no sɛ e traffic light no ma nipa sɛ nipa benya ho mfaso na bra sɛ nipa twam wotimi atwam na bra sɛ ka so kɔ no so ɔno so etimi akɔ na sɛ beba sɛ besi hɔ na anya adwuma de a agye sɛ sisi hɔ no mfaso bi eni so nyamani hu ya hase nipa eku wɔ mo no more than 20 de mate ne de mdimani hu be 20 nti yesre said the traffic light na shenensa na so empanimfo ehwe so no obetima bo modern say anytime bi obo hu say chima asa ehu ato chima no omusiesie because ni penti na ye traffic light na edisi ho ni pan kwa so ehu hia nti ade said the no said the ye na said the say ohwe ema traffic light no eye adwuma no onhwe ema yen.
They run away. No light. Baby. Nina hit and run. A bomb wife, ya dopa.
Normally, traffic lights decide who moves and who stops. But here on the Awoshipo-Kwase stretch, that responsibility has been left to drivers and pedestrians themselves. For years, these lights have remained faulty, turning this stretch into a daily test of patience and safety.
Bernardo Kumo, popularly known as Uncle Ben, is also living with painful memories. He lost his wife in a crash on this same stretch one morning.
Sorry, by 7 o'clock. Oh, Charlie Quino, and I'm said traffic light in my teeth, and a power, carbon, and who are the sport.
He says residents are even willing to support authorities in any way possible if it will help restore the lights.
The Siano, Yasam, say a pabancho. No boy, you are ready. Yeah, gun, I was in landlord association. We are ever prepared to support the government to renovate the traffic light for us. It's killing us. We don't need anything that the traffic will patch out. We are begging to patch out. Akuye nyeto mbe ye kwan amaye na fe yewu aja kwan no ti asra ban on kire ade pote ai out to install traffic light na amaye we me yireni this my wife kuni ya me yireni oh ti apachao.
For Joyce Coker, the danger on this stretch of road has struck her family more than once. She recounts how her sister was knocked down by a vehicle while carrying her baby. The crash left her sister paralyzed. Joyce says although she later survived a similar accident on the same stretch, the memory of what happened to her sister still weighs heavily on her.
Nti na ewo ma na se mi ti se si ka bobi yedimi ka ba ya onu na ka abo na o hye ka se ni nana no so hye nechi eni ne ba ni nyina omu ko share over na se kura kodo kwa na kasa kwa no nka bi kura ba kokoma moja aplam ni sa o okwoche wo hospital pa ya ti ni kwa ka we e kire na sa ni ko du we Rich Hospital. Okoda was answer the na ba. Nti we kwa me yesi mi kofa na ba na nka obekasa nso no na ntene nye papa. Watumi aba. Na me akasa sasa mi gina wo so sa na bo mi. Nyame nku a ka mi nso anka ebe ha adwin. Kwa mu twan de mi sre aban se mi sre ni pi ohu ya bobo. Edru se betwa kwa mu a mrika wan ntem mrika de ka bebo. O hwe sna betiti adu na me di mrika wa ka akwam ebetwem. Eye fine. Metumi abofo ka na ka akwa afa meso nkwala amu fi school e ban so saa obo wan na ka abo madam fo opama de ka abo no wawu madam fo yi niku na aka sei onu so saa na petutu kaa bɔɔ no ana wawu yɛsra ban ɛno ti na etu aba no sɛde bi ɔbɛsiesie ahanama yɛ nti ɛno ti na etu aba ɛma no kaminko ampo anka overhead ko ɔmo yɛ ma nkɔla no overhead ɔmo yɛ ma wɔn na nka ɔmo ba no afa overhead no abɛsi so ahu ebi ɔbɛ cross kwan na abɛkɔ no tam na abɛka si o kaa ma me cross no tam a wo bɛyi wuti so yɛ o na moto bi afa nkyɛn only light ɔbɛ wɔn na ɔde abɔ.
Residents say crashes have become frighteningly common here. Alhaji, a resident, says the malfunctioning traffic lights have created another danger. Motor riders now take advantage of the chaos to snatch phones from pedestrians.
O bag, o phone, a song by the phone. It's a bar, a light you call Omodumono. A son says, a traffic light near Juma, Mahaha, Betty Metrum. Ansan bibinia omkwati mabaha sesia no awosifo anase ahayi epenifo abam mebre su cross kwan no mebre ni enye mebre sisi enye enti esese etimi su cross ekwan no by force enti traffic no enye adwuma no yana yepese omoye in hurry say ombetima ere across say ebanasa drivers so ba nyamia ni mkware ni as a express road see di mu wi when you are train ejanadwa ana traffic light every MPP and every abedu NDC force omienu nyina but yes say enya politics omo mahwe awura hofe omahwe abran no omwayen.
Assemblywoman for the Awoshi electoral area, Faustina Kesewa, says several attempts to get the lights repaired have yielded little success.
To be frank, Tamanami unit committee chairperson, sa traffic light were semono, and so sorry, sir, and so sorry, anytime be sa problem we ho, and man crofo, cabo bobo bonko for me, nim cram somebody assembly, me nim cranipa by 4. Miaman, me casan casa, madame for your friend Rasta. Traffic light yasia na car born e ba brantie manehwere ohwere ne nkwa nti light na asembia yas ade a ha titropa awoshiman e ha ye papa because school ni bi wo kwan nachi ebi so wosi ebi cross school ebi so cross ba 2 weeks ye ni abrewa bi a okofa kama wo di kwa chiri e ha na ye frame ye kwa na car born wo kwan na no nti to be frank light na asembia e ya ade e ha ye nyese ye ntu anamo me ni me unit committee for ya ye meeting yetu anamo akọ is for almost on beba up to now yenti mpupuye bia nti yesre Ghana mpanfo a omokasa ewom yen misem mpanfo na didibi so eso me yepani de bat mpanfo bi ewo ho a ewo soro yesre omokasa yeye a omutimi kasa emasa adwuma no mutimi ye no yesre omo nkeka omo ho yen kasa omo ye adwuma kuro so Ghana so yesra omo kai awosi mabunu omo kai awosi enkola cause enkola na omo twam ko school class eya ne ya da chi ebenya doctors wom ebenya ministers wom ebenya asofofo wom yesra omo moam ene na yema disrede.
During rush hours and at night, crossing this road becomes a dangerous gamble. Pedestrians often wait for long periods to cross. But when patience runs out, many take the risk. The result, sometimes, is tragedy. Data from the National Road Safety Authority shows road crashes in the Greater Accra region continue to rise. Residents believe malfunctioning traffic lights are part of the problem. For them, the solution seems simple. Fix the lights before another life is lost. Adobe Asari for Joy News.
The sea is closing in on one of Ghana's most important historical landmarks, the Christian Castle, also known as the Osu Castle. Every wave eats away the land. The shoreline may soon vanish completely, leaving land and sea merged. The Osu Castle still draws tourists, people eager to connect with its past. 24-year-old Henry Asiboya is visiting the castle for the very first time. He is a lover of fashion. He is not just at the castle to learn, but also to capture its beauty as a backdrop for his pictures.
I hear about Osu Castle, so I decided to come and see where they used to keep the slave, then they will later transport them to overseas. So I decided to come and then take a tour, then have a good background for my fashion photos. Okay. So that's what brought me here. Okay.
What Henry sees today is very different from what others have seen over the years. Just a few meters away from the Osu Castle, 50-year-old Moses Abeka Okai sits by the shore mending his fishing net. He has lived by the sea for decades and remembers when the shoreline was far from the castle.
Castle first year kuse ton sibiane show enye ba nale tumo biane e ban show itumo first year bene yo gono ton biane e show le te ba nale first ke e show fan aton sibiane ke e fon le te e petele no yo ya okote no aishi no utekile dan dan wa nyonye so na bukia o liake te ba nye civil ne ga bia mi no mi pour te ko no me yiwa ni te wonju le woli.
At the base of the Osu Castle, the warning signs are no longer subtle. The rocks that once held firm are now exposed, some cracking, others being pulled away. The waves are no longer breaking offshore. They now strike directly against the foundation. At my visit in 2023, there was still a visible stretch of sandy beach between the sea and the castle. I could stand and walk in that space without difficulty. 3 years later, that buffer is almost gone.
Sea level rise is projected to increase in the future, and this will have a significant effect on the coastal systems and the shoreline behavior. Our study revealed that out of the total number of tourism facilities at risk in Accra, a third cannot physically withstand the event of sea level rise hazard due to their proximity to the shoreline.
For centuries, the Christabel Castle was the seat of government. From the colonial era through independence and into the Fourth Republic. But in 2013, the presidency moved to the Jubilee House. Coastal scientist Professor Akufo-Addo says advancing coastal erosion played a key role in that decision.
Using the current sea level rise rate and projected future rates, model the impact of coastal erosion on some selected landmark coastal features along Accra's coast. I observed the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum, the Independence Square, and the Christianborg Castle will experience erosion and are likely to be lost to the sea in the very near future, looking between from 50 years to 150 years. This study generated several discussions which have influenced, I believe, the relocation of the presidency to the Jubilee House.
Rising sea levels combined with wave energy and human activities along the coast are accelerating the loss of land. And in many places, there is no effective coastal management plan in place. What is happening at Osu Castle is part of a much larger pattern. Across Accra's coastline, critical infrastructure and entire communities are increasingly exposed. National landmarks, economic zones, homes, all sitting on land that is slowly disappearing.
Several areas along the coast, not just Christianborg Castle, but several areas along the coast are vulnerable. And how do we ensure that there is an increased resilience so as to be able to fight or to withstand some of these challenges. And like I said, we all hands needs to be on deck. We need to initiate a national discussion on these things. Every facility within the coastal area has a certain level of vulnerability. But how do we ensure that we enhance the resilience of communities, resilience of infrastructure, resilience of assets within the coastal area? So it's all encompassing. But unfortunately, because we don't have a workable management plan for the coastal area, anything is just going on.
I feel so bad about it because when I was coming, I interacted with some people even outside. The environment was lovely, yes, lovely. So I said it will, I'll feel bad about it.
Osu Castle still stands, but the sea is creeping closer, eating away the land it once overlooked. If nothing changes, the loss may not happen suddenly, but bit by bit, until there's nothing left to protect. Emmanuel Jivenu, Joy News, Osu.
Hello beautiful people, welcome once again to Home Tips with Mira. You know the program is always about home tips, DIYs, things you can do yourself and home remedies. So today we are looking at the magical uses of onion. Apart from using onion to cook, there are other uses. You can use onion to cook your stews, your sauces, your stir fries or your soup. But apart from that, there's the other side of the usage of onions that I want to share with you. So let's go for a break, and when we come back, I'll share more on onions with you. Onions are one of the most used vegetables in cooking. I believe that even today, if you are cooking, you are going to use onion in your food. And there are different kinds of onion. There's a shallot, white onion, yellow onion, and the red or the purple onion. And then we have the spring onion. Depending on what you want to do, if it is for salad, somebody will go for the white onion. If it is sandwich, somebody can go for the yellow onion or the red onion. It depends on you. But each of the onions that I have here can be used in your cooking because each one has a distinct flavor. So it's based on your preference. Mostly, I use the shallots for cooking my soup. You know, peeling the shallot is a bit difficult, so I know most people don't like it, but you know, it adds some superb flavors to your meals when you cook with it. And then I have the spring onion. And before I talk about it, I just want to share with you how you can even store your spring onions. That is, if you have them in excess. Just make sure that you wash them very well because usually there's sand all over it, and you can just chop the onions into pieces and then store it in a Ziploc bag, and then you keep it in the refrigerator or the freezer. Make sure that when you are sealing, when you get to the latter part, you don't seal, and then you squeeze for all the air to come out before you finally seal it. So here it is. I've taken all the air out. So you keep this in your fridge or your freezer. If it goes in the freezer, make sure that when you pick it like this, it goes straight into your stew, and don't thaw it. Just put it in your stew or however you want to use it. And then you can use this rubber, wrap it around. After you are finished washing it, you can just wrap it in this rubber and keep it in the refrigerator. It can be there for a very long time. So here you are, you keep this one in the refrigerator, not the freezer, the refrigerator. And what are some of the uses of this spring onion? In fact, you can use it in your stir fries, use it for your stew, you can add it with other herbs or ginger, onion and garlic, and then you blend, keep it in the fridge and use it, to season your meat or marinate, or you can also use it in your green sauces. And one thing that you can also use this for is that when you are pounding your palm nuts for your palm nut soup, your abenkwine, you can add this spring onions to the palm nuts and pound. It gives it this delicious flavor and aroma when you use it to make your soup. So try and always, when you go to the market, get some of the spring onions, and when you come home, use it in your daily cooking. So I told you I was going to show you some magical use of onion. Maybe some of you know, but others too, I believe this will be something very new. So what you can use your onion for is that you can use it as a cough syrup. You can mix the onion with honey, and then you turn it into a cough syrup. So let me show you how you do it. First of all, you try and select fresh onion like I have here. It shouldn't be showing symptoms of rottenness. So you cut it. After cutting, then you wash the onion. After you wash the onion, make sure that you pat the onion dry. The water shouldn't be on the onion. And then you cut it into smaller pieces so that we can have a wider surface area of the onion. After you are done, just pack everything into a bottle. I usually prefer using glass bottle. Pack all the chopped onions into the glass bottle. If you cut onions and you know that you don't have an immediate use for it, please make sure that you cover it, because onions are able to absorb certain bacteria from the environment. Maybe you are grinding some small pepper and you have such a big onion and you cut half and you put it down. The onion will absorb the bacteria from the environment, and it is not so safe for your consumption. So make sure that you either use your onion wholly, use everything up, or you get smaller ones that you use. Don't cut and leave it in the open. So I'm pouring my honey on the onion. You see, I have the onion is just like half of the glass, so I'm going to pour the onion for it to be full. Okay. So now just shake it a bit. And keep it down. Like I said, you can keep it in your fridge, or you can keep it at room temperature, and it will not spoil. It will just be there. So long as the honey is there, this syrup will also last. And if you're not too comfortable with the onion to be in the honey, wait, and after 3 days, just sieve it so that you can just get the onions out, and then you'll be left with your mixture. But I prefer the onion to be in the mixture as long as it will be there. And did you know that you can also use onions for your hair? Yes, onions contain sulfur, and that is why when you are casting the onions, when the sulfur enters your eye, then it will sting your eye, and then tears will be coming out of your eyes. So the sulfur in the onion, especially the red one, it helps so much with hair growth. And what you can do is that just cut the onion, maybe grind it or blend it. Just blend it raw like that, don't add anything. And then when you get the juice, you can just massage it gently into your scalp, and then you wait for about 30 minutes, and then you wash it with mild shampoo. It will make sure that your hair grows very well, and then it will give your hair this shiny look. So you can also use onion juice for your hair. This is all time will permit us to share. So if you want more about the magical uses of onion, please go on my YouTube page, Home Tips with Mira, and please subscribe if you haven't done so, and you find the video there. And please, you can also visit me on my Facebook page, still Home Tips with Mira. Until I bring another exciting episode your way, please keep watching and stay positive. My name is Backah. My friends call me Blue. Sometimes you want to skate, but mostly you don't have a lot of obstacles or different things to try with, So mostly we just have flat ground. But this has different things to try. So I'm going to try everything that I can here. It's not just flat, you know. So it's going to make me improve.
We usually used to skate the streets in front of people's shops, empty spaces that were not used, National Theatre, the Trade Fair, and other demolished places like Mile 7 right now. We usually have a lot of problems using people's spaces because they are private spaces and they have problems with us skateboarding there, so we get kicked out most of the time when we do our own thing.
It's sad that he wasn't here himself to see what his work, you know, had done. And yeah, but I'm sure that wherever he is, he knows that we're happy and we appreciate whatever it is that he did for us.
It's a very, very big opportunity for people like me because we need to develop what we have as talents.
This is Industrialization 2026. I am Muftau Nabila Outline. Welcome to Joy Prime, where we bring you every single thing you need to know about the FIFA World Cup as we build up to the competition. Today is 34 days away to the Global Sporting Festival that will be happening in the USA, Mexico, and Canada. That opening match between Mexico and South Africa is a repeat of what the world witnessed in 2010 when South Africa were the host of the tournament. Those two nations opened the campaign when Africa staged it for the first time, and those two nations are going to be opening the campaign when the rest of the world assemble in the USA, Mexico, and Canada. This time around, Mexico is a co-host of the tournament. The first time ever that FIFA has decided that 3 separate countries are going to be hosting the competition. And Ghana's Black Stars coach, Carlos Queiroz, he's assembled 23 players for a friendly match against Mexico on May 22. We'll also be bringing you stories about how the USA president is talking about the fact that the ticket prices are so high and that he won't pay for them. We'll also be taking you to FIFA, where its leadership is engaging Iran to ensure that they participate in the tournament. We've got these and many more here on Destination 2026. Do not forget that if you want to experience the FIFA World Cup at the semi-final and the final stages, you need to get in touch with March Hospitality Experience. March Hospitality Experience, they are the only FIFA authorized agency who have been given the opportunity or the tickets to sell World Cup tickets for the semi-final and the final. The semi-final matches are on July 14 and 15. while the final will be happening on July 19. So get in touch with much hospitality experience on 055 155 119, 055 155 119, or get in touch with us on sales at matchexphospitality.com, or go to our website www.matchexphospitality.com. And Latina Travel and Tour, in partnership with the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, they are organizing the 2026 FIFA World Cup Expo. That will be happening in Boston at the Envision Hotel on June 22 and June 23. So it will happen on the day before Ghana plays England, and the day Ghana is playing England. And guess what? Boston has the most Ghanaian diasporas, and with about 8 to 10 million people expected to assemble in the USA for the World Cup, there isn't a perfect opportunity for you to be a part of these companies or the companies that will be showcasing what they've got. So if you are an entrepreneur, if you are a fashion designer, if you are someone who is in cosmetics, and you are into pharmaceuticals, constructions, and many other stuff, get in touch with Latina on 0244 260 789 to secure your booth, to be able to showcase your products to the rest of the world. And this 2026 FIFA World Cup Business Expo is put together in partnership with the Ministry of Trade and Agribusiness. I'm going to take a quick break. When I come back, I zoom you into our stories we've got assembled for today. Welcome back to Destination 2026. Let me take you to the camp of the Black Stars, where its head coach Carlos Queiroz has announced a 23-man squad for a friendly match against Mexico. This is a team full of new players, apart from the likes of Majid Ashimero, who are making a return, Felix Afenajan, who is also making a return to the team. A chunk of the players called up are making their debut in the senior national team. Francis Amuzu, who had earlier said that he feels more of a Belgian than a Ghanaian, has decided to accept a call-up from Ghana to play in this friendly match. And also, there's a place for the likes of Midiame Salim Adams. So let me just take you through the squad that has been put together by Carlos Queiroz and his technical team. Solomon Agbasi, he is with Accra House of Oak, and Paul Reverson, he's with Ajax. The Ghana Football Association last night confirmed that Benjamin Asari, the first choice goalkeeper of the Black Stars, has been called up to replace Gideos Esiaku, who is with Dreams FC. Then there's Oscar Opon of Grenada, Ebenezer Adade of Dreams FC, Ebenezer Annan of Saint Etienne, Menudia of San Diego FC, Nathaniel Adje of Lorraine, Sir Razak Simpson, who has played about 3 times for the Black Stars, also gets a call-up. The Costa entry of Anderlecht Futures and Ebenezer Alban of Heart of Lions. These are the defenders Carlos Queiroz is going to rely on for that friendly match against Mexico. And if you are someone who has followed the national team closely, you would have known that Ghana has played Mexico 2 times in international friendlies and lost both. One was in 2007, if my memory serves me right, and the recent one under Chris Hughton, which was in 2023, where Ghana lost. The midfielders, we have Emmanuel Adje of Dundee United. This is a team based in the USA. Adela Aziz Issa, formerly of Dreams FC, currently on loan with Barcelona B, gets a call-up. There's also a play for Augustin Boache of Saint Etienne, Majida Shimero, formerly of Wafa, formerly of Anderlecht, now with La Lover, also gets a call-up. There's Raksechi Jesurun of Stoke City and Salim Adams of Midiame FC. If you're a fan of Sports Zone, which airs on Joy Prime every Monday at 9 p.m., you might have heard us talk about Raksechi, quite a talented player. We started talking about him as far back as 2023. when we got to hear of him. And now he gets a call up to the Black Stars. The forwards are Daniel Ajay, Felix Afinajan. He was key in Ghana's qualification to the FIFA World Cup in Qatar 2022, but unfortunately couldn't make the final squad for the tournament. Ibrahim Osman of Birmingham City, he's been called up to the Black Stars before. Prince Amwaku of Northern, one of the most talented players in recent times. He's just 19, formerly of Right to Dream Academy. Francis Amuzu, he is with Gremio, and he's the one I was talking about the fact that in 2022, he said he was a Belgian and had nothing to do with Ghana. In 2023, he got a Ghanaian passport. In 2025, he said, oh, if Ghana calls him, he will play. Now Ghana has given him the call-up, and he's accepted it. Maybe the opportunity to play for Belgium is not coming, because what he thought was that he could play for Belgium, and according to him, playing for Belgium enhances your chances of going far in the FIFA World Cup. He never thought playing for Ghana would take him far, but now he's with us. There is Joseph Opoku of Zolti Warisham. These are the players who have been called up by the head coach of the Black Stars, Carlos Queiroz. Now, let me bring you a breakdown of home-based players and debutants. So, first of all is the debutants. Solomon Agbasi is a debutant. He plays for Accra House of Oak, formerly of Dreams FC. Paul Reverson is a debutant in this team. The place of Gideos Esenko has been taken over by Benjamin Asari. Oscar Opon, Ebenezer Adade, Menidia, Da Costa Entry, Ebenezer Arban, all these are making their debut. Ebenezer Arban got a call up under Akufo-Addo during the AFCON qualifiers, so he's not a debutant. There's Emmanuel Ajay, Augustine Boachi, Raksechi of Stoke City, Salim Adams of Mediama, Prince Amwako Jr. of Northern, Francis Amuzu, and Joseph Opoku. These are the debutants who are making the squad for the friendly match against Mexico. That will be happening next week. It's May 22. These are the home-based players. Solomon Agbasi, Benjamin Asari, Ebenezer Adade, Ebenezer Arban, Zach Simpson, and Salim Adams. These are the home-based players who will be part of the final squad for the friendly match against Mexico. In fact, most of these players are going to be auditioning for an opportunity to be part of the final squad for the FIFA World Cup happening in the next 34 days. So these are the players. The likes of Majida Shumeru, the likes of Razak Simpson, Abdul Aziz Issa, Daniel Ajay, Felix Afinajan, Ibrahim Osman, Nathaniel Ajay, Francis Amuzu. They are all going to audition for a place. But these are returnees. Razak Simpson is a returnee, Majida Shumeru is a returnee, Abdul Aziz Issa is a returnee as well. Daniel Ajay, Felix Afinajan, Ibrahim Osman, and Nathaniel Ajay. They are all making a return to the national team. They've been there before. They've played for the country before, but currently they were away. In fact, Majida Shumeru was part of the team that played in AFCON 2023. Now, let me take you to the camp of Mohamed Salisu. He is one man who scored a single goal for Ghana during the FIFA World Cup in Qatar. One of the most dependable defenders in the Black Stars' current setup. He had injury issues, but he's back to training. He started ball work just a couple of hours ago with his team, and the team was actually excited to release videos of him back to training with them as we gear up to the FIFA World Cup. Just 34 days away, Ghana will open its campaign on June 17. The tournament starts on June 11. So that is 40 days. I don't know whether if the head coach of the Black Stars will be willing to take that risk of including him. The coach has until June 2 to submit a final squad. So on the day Ghana will be playing Wales in a friendly match, right after that game, it means that Ghana will have to submit its final squad to the FIFA match committee, saying that this is our final team for the World Cup. And in fact, whenever I talk about a friendly match or a final friendly match prior to a tournament, it takes me back to 2014. when Ghana played South Korea, on that very day, it was quite unfortunate. Jerry Kaminko got injured and never recovered in that final match. I'm not sure anyone will want to be reminded about that. But on the day Ghana is playing Wales, that's the very day Ghana will be submitting its final list of players to FIFA for the World Cup. So Mohamed Salisu is back, but it's unclear whether Carlos Queiroz will take a risk on him. In fact, even Mohamed Kudus, it's also unclear whether the coach will be willing to take a risk on him to have him for the tournament that starts in the next 34 days. Ghana is in a group with Panama, England, and Croatia. With 48 countries playing, it is possible, very possible, that Ghana could qualify to the next phase, which is the round of 32 of the tournament. It's the first time the FIFA World Cup has been expanded to 48 countries. Hitherto, we all knew the numbers prior to the FIFA's decision to expand the tournament by making it a 34-team competition. Now, I'll be taking you to Daniel Kofichre. He's been speaking about the fact that he wants to be part of Ghana's setup for the FIFA World Cup.
Another dream, another goal I'm thriving for, and I believe in it. Point or dot, and on the other hand, I need to be honest to myself and see every day or after this, maybe one day until the call up, how I'm really feeling, how my in what state I am, because I don't want to go to the World Cup just to be a part of it and have on my CV that I have another World Cup if I cannot really help the team and if I cannot have the impact I had before. So I need to be honest to myself. But until then, I have those days, those weeks, month to work on, to get in the best shape I can be. And yesterday I started with 20 minutes, and for me, my aim is to before the World Cup begins, I want to have at least 1 or 2 games where I go over the full time, and of course next week a little bit more time, and then the other week more time, and just get into a rhythm. And but I believe I can do it and get in shape, ready for the World Cup, and that's just a dream. But in the end of the day, it's not me who decides, and I can just do what I can do, and I can what's the word? I'm missing the word. In German ist, ich kann nur das beeinflussen, was ich beeinflussen kann.
Be hopeful.
Yeah. So so it's not me who decide at the end of the day, but I will just give my best to be there.
Yeah. And listen, we are all rooting for you. We hope that you can get back into your best shape, because when you're in your best shape, you're one of the best players in the team without a doubt, and you showed that in many games.
Thank you.
We at the AFCON, unbelievable performance from you, even in the face of defeat. It's just like, no, not today. And you kept giving everything. It's unbelievable. Your attitude is unbelievable. Just the last thing on the World Cup. Obviously, Akufo-Addo was the one that took you to your first World Cup, and he was the one in charge when you also got injured. So he's been checking on you frequently. and you came and the team received you very nicely, all of that. Were you surprised to hear that he was fired just after the Germany game, which you were at?
Yes, I was. I was surprised. Obviously, I think yeah, a lot of yeah, like the people I talked to, they were surprised that it just happened. Yeah, just after the game, so that it comes to it comes out that it happened after the game, and I had a chat with him too, and I was texting him that about the Germany game, that I was seeing a solid performance of us, and it's not easy after the game against Austria to play against even a potentially better team like Germany, and keep the game so even. Close. Yeah, so close, and so I was texting him that it's very unfortunate that we concede the late defeat, but that's that we can all be that it's all okay, and that we can build on it, on even on this game, that we saw progress. That was my opinion on the situation, and not to miss out and talk about the bad game against Austria. Yeah, it wasn't. It was just not good enough, but people need to understand too that Austria is a very, very good team. I even had the conversation with my teammates. We have 2 players from Austria in our team, and yes, I do, and that's another dream, another goal I'm thriving for, and I believe in it. Point or dot, and on the other hand, I need to be honest to myself, and see every day or after this, maybe one day until the call up, how I'm.
We are back from the break. Now, I'm going to take you to the USA. The facility that has been chosen to host the World Cup final is a MetLife Stadium. The owners of the facility have started installing the pitches to ensure that it is in a great shape to be able to host the FIFA World Cup.
Just there a few minutes ago on the field, it's looking beautiful. It's grass that we all wish was in our backyards. Officials say that there's like a special watering mechanism to keep it alive throughout the hot summer days. They say that their goal is to keep it consistent, of course, along with other fields throughout stadiums throughout the world for these players. And that it's from one of the Carolinas. That's really cool. It's not local grass. And but of course, ladies, as a North Jersey native here, I can tell you it's really exciting to see the communities here who are just gearing up for the game, and the fans, whether they plan to watch the games in person or on their TVs, their excitement is just contagious.
Inching closer and closer to the World Cup matches, and MetLife Stadium is looking the part with a freshly laid down soccer pitch.
This field is a sod-on plastic field. It was grown in North Carolina. It is a 8 to 10 month process to grow the grass.
Just minutes away in New Jersey's largest city, Newark, officials tout a calendar full of events for tourists and local fans in celebration of the games.
We'll be able to try to make a relationship between what's happening around the world and what's happening with FIFA to our young people right here in the city of Newark.
We're welcoming. Our hotels are ready, our restaurants are getting ready, our small businesses are getting ready, our vendors are getting ready, and we're getting the city ready as well.
Newark Ironbound section resident Carlos Ferreira speaks literally when talking about tourists tasting their way through the city, especially at the city's Newark Fan Village at the heart of the Ironbound, the iconic Iberia Castle on Ferry Street.
We're going to have a food hall right in this area over here that will be constructed in the upcoming weeks. It'll encompass foods from participating countries, Spain, Portugal, Mexico, Ghana.
The parking lot of the castle, which used to house the Portuguese restaurant Iberia, will hold the Fan Village, organized by local business owners and stakeholders. Each World Cup match will be projected onto the castle, and family-friendly activities will take place here.
It's pretty cool because this neighborhood lives and breathes soccer.
I'll be changing shirts on every game. So I'm not going to be the bias for just one.
David Habuliani also lives in the Ironbound, a predominantly Portuguese and Latino section of Newark. He has plenty of different jerseys ready to wear for the games, and New Jersey's melting pot, housing immigrants like Ferreira, who say the pride is even stronger here than in their home countries.
Here we miss home, so this is a way to be connected to our traditions, and soccer brings people together.
Lots of excitement there, and the city of Newark.
Now, we still stay in the USA, and the CEO of Helix International, he has been talking about the security situation because about 10 million people are expected in the USA for this year's FIFA World Cup. And the security conversation has come out, especially in areas like Seattle and Los Angeles. The USA security chief actually believes that they will be in a position to curb every single situation that may emanate during the FIFA World Cup.
I think we're looking at a couple of things. We're looking at the infrastructure risk, so how well are individual cities prepared for the games on the dates that they know they're coming. We're looking at the cyber risk, particularly. We're looking at protest risk. We're looking at weather events. And a new one that's emerging is we're looking at fuel security and the impact that has on transportation.
And we know that in our area, the matches that are taking place here, they've closed off or they plan to close off the parking lots, and those that want to go in to watch the games have to take public transportation. I'm sure other cities are probably doing the same.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we should remember that the United States has a really strong track record of delivering world-class sporting events. So every city that's involved has got experience in planning for these type of events, but people should expect some degree of disruption just on the amount of time it's going to take for people to move into these into cities.
Right, and let's talk about specific risks to the U.S. and each host city. I'm sure there's a list of specifics that you're looking at when you look at the games and the matches that are taking place here in the U.S.
Yeah, so every game has its own individual risk assessment based on which countries are playing, what type of city infrastructure is in place, whether there's likely to be any potential of any fan disruption. So yes, it's very much an individual risk assessment, which you then overlay with your client's risk assessment to come out with the final answer.
And when you take on events like these taking place in multiple countries, what about cyber criminals? They're possibly targeting the World Cup and selling fake tickets. So how do you handle that?
Yes, look, cyber risk is one of our top 5 risks that we're worried about. When you get the concentration of people that are coming to these locations, it doesn't take much to further disrupt that. So a cyber attack on the ticketing system, for example, or even on the credit card payment system for hot dogs and beer, these things can have a really material impact. So those are things that we're preparing for and advising people to be ready for.
Mm-hmm. And what about fans that are preparing to attend these games? Any advice for them?
I think, look, a lot of it's going to come down to common sense. So people are going to need to allow plenty of time to travel in to these locations. They're going to need to be patient. They're going to need to know where the exits are. They need to have a plan if they get separated, if they're in a group. So yeah, and in a large crowd, if something doesn't feel quite right, it probably usually isn't. So people should use their common sense and have a plan in place.
Yeah,
I think we're looking at a couple of things. We're looking at the infrastructure risks.
Now, I'm going to still stay inside the USA because lots of things are happening within the USA. Somewhere December last year, FIFA announced the ticket prices for the tournament. And one of the concerns that was raised by many people was the fact that the prices we're about 200% price increment from the last World Cup that took place in Qatar. For Ghana's World Cup game against England, the minimum that someone can get a ticket or will have to pay to get that ticket will be $220. Yes, that's a minimum. And guess what? If you are to buy it from a member federation of FIFA, there is a possibility of a price increase by 10%, because FIFA gives such a window for member federations like the Ghana Football Association, say the South African Football Federation, say the Algerian Football Association, Senegal Football Association, to put a certain percentage on it so that it will cover for bank charges when they sell the tickets and they're sending the money to them. So it means that you are actually going to be paying more than the $220. And guess what? When the member federation of FIFA also decides to give it to an agency like Latina and Co., they are also likely to put a certain percentage on it. So the World Cup ticket price that you see at $220, you could end up paying between $300 and $350 for the minimum match ticket. The Football Supporters Union in Europe decided to even take FIFA to court to demand that they bring the ticket prices down. One of the things FIFA president said was that they are taking advantage of the US market to put together the FIFA match tickets because, according to him, even college matches in the US, you wouldn't pay anything less than $300 to be able to watch. So why would FIFA organize a tournament and ask people to pay anything less to be able to watch these matches? Well, some fans in Houston are saying that they've been priced out of the tournament, and it is possible that they may stay at home and not witness the tournament.
It's the planet's biggest sporting event with a price tag to match. As North America gears up to host the 2026 World Cup, organizer FIFA is under fire for stratospheric ticket prices. President Gianni Infantino citing the U.S. resale market as he sought to defend FIFA.
We have to apply market rates. If we were to sell tickets at the price which is too low, these tickets would be resold at a much higher price.
World Cup revenues first surpassed those of the Olympics with 2010's South African edition, but this year's move to the U.S. has taken it to another level entirely. While the 2024 Paris Summer Games brought in around $5.25 billion, FIFA expects revenues for the 2026 World Cup to hit $13 billion, with $9 billion of that getting raked in this year. Roughly a third of that will be via tickets that are priced much higher than 4 years ago. Face value for seats at the 2022 World Cup final in Qatar ranged from $206 to just over $1,600. For the 2026 final in New Jersey, the range is $2,030 to more than $6,300. FIFA says demand is driving the market, with more than 500 million ticket requests received, and some tickets to the final already listed on resale sites for as much as $2 million. A number of groups, including some U.S. lawmakers, have called for FIFA to lower ticket prices, and it has responded with $60 tickets for an extremely small number of seats tucked into the highest corners of stadiums.
Well, I talked to about 40 different people out here, from sports fanatics to families to everyday working Houstonians, and I heard the same thing across the board. People say they feel the excitement for the World Cup, but they don't necessarily feel the ticket prices. And they say from what they've seen, they're only going up.
The World Cup is coming to Houston, but for many, the games are out of reach.
Tickets are too expensive and I can't afford it.
What were the ticket prices that you saw?
$400 for each one.
And unless you want to go alone, you're looking at that price multiplied.
With 3 people, so we don't know. That's too much money for us.
And when asked what a reasonable price would be,
like $200 or something like that, plus food and drinks, so that's too much.
For families, the math adds up fast. Hundreds of dollars just to get in the door before parking, concessions, or transportation. We checked ourselves. If you're purchasing straight from FIFA, the price is $1,700 to nearly $3,000 per ticket. And these after-sale tickets are still in the mid $300 to $400s. Even dedicated soccer fans like Jose Romero are making trade-offs just to attend. Instead of a marquee matchup, he chose a more affordable game.
I'm going to the Cabo Verde versus Saudi Arabia. The other ones are outrageous.
Romero's friends call him the FIFA fanatic. He studied the schedule and every event happening. He says if you still want to have the FIFA experience, there's another option.
Shell Stadium is actually offering 3 watch parties for the USA team and 3 watch parties for the Mexico team as well. So that's an opportunity to go watch it and feel like you're there. They're also going to have a finale watch party. It's going to be free, and you just got to buy drinks and food. That's it.
Information on the Fan Fest can be found on our website, clicktohouston.com. And if you plan on attending one of the World Cup games and haven't purchased your ticket yet, these fans say purchase now because they only expect these ticket prices to continue to get more expensive. Reporting from downtown, Joy Addison, KPRC 2.
It could cost you up to 70,000 Ghana cedis. 70,000 Ghana cedis to watch the World Cup final. A single match, 70,000 cedis. That's quite a figure. And in fact, it could cost you nothing less than 2,000 Ghana cedis to be able to watch Ghana's game against Panama. That is the list price. It's about 1,760 Ghana cedis thereabout. If the FA decides to put a certain percentage on it, you could be paying up to 2,000, 2,500 cedis just for a ticket, and that is the minimum. But the World Cup final, you pay up to 70,000 Ghana cedis to be able to witness that. Well, the President of the United States, Donald Trump, he says that your ticket prices are so high, I won't pay. He said, I'm not going to pay that. Donald Trump said, I'm not going to pay that. Let's take a look at what Donald Trump has said. Let me just bring in the quotes of Donald Trump. Trump says he wouldn't pay high World Cup ticket prices. Yes, that's the president, a billionaire for that matter. He's telling people that I'm not going to pay that, it's too high. He told the New York Post in a phone interview he wouldn't pay the $1,000+ being charged to attend the United States opening game at the World Cup. Yes, Donald Trump, the man with the money, says that he won't pay. What about you and I? He said this is shortly after FIFA President Gianni Infantino defended it, and you just heard that from FIFA President when he was talking about the fact that the US market, and in fact, when they give it out to agencies, they're going to sell them at higher prices. And I have personally experienced that covering a World Cup where a fan would come to you and make demands for a World Cup ticket. And in fact, some fans are willing to pay as much as $2,000 to be able to get a ticket, which is the least price that you can get. So the ticket that will cost, say, $140, someone is willing to pay $1,500, $2,000 to be able to watch that. So Donald Trump says, I'm not going to pay that. He said in a Wednesday interview that he did not know the tickets for the United States opening World Cup match next month cost 4 figures, saying, I would not, yes, I'm not going to pay that. Yes, the President of the United States said, I would certainly like to be there. I'm not going to pay that. If people from Queens and Brooklyn and all of the people that love Donald Trump can't go, I would be disappointed. Trump said, Arden, I would have to take a look at it. Yes, you can take a look at it, but FIFA has already put together their figures. And people have already even bought them. That's the point. If you can't pay, others have already bought them. Trump, though, touted the extremely successful World Cup ticket sales. Yes. FIFA President Gianni Infantino previously said more than 5 million tickets have been sold. And if FIFA are not exaggerating, when they opened the FIFA portal, 500 million people requested for tickets. Yes. In fact, there were 550 million people requested for match tickets. So it's not out of place if about 5 million tickets have been sold. Setting every record in the book. They've never had anything like that. Yes. But you know, Gianni Infantino can be a very funny man. He has a way of coming up with certain interesting stuff. It is possible this one to be another settings. The US team makes its 2026 World Cup debut on June 12 in Los Angeles against Paraguay, with most of the tickets for the match selling for above $1,000. $1,000 actually means that's about 10,000 Ghana cedis. And if you're going for the exchange rate of around 11, that's about 11,000 Ghana cedis. Meanwhile, there's something interesting that's also even happening within the USA. In fact, they've tried to increase transport prices in the USA. Trains that were moving for like $10, $15, they are now going to, if you're going to board a bus or a train in the US, hitherto that was like say $10 or $15, it is now $150 just because of the World Cup. And from my experience of covering major tournaments, the local organizing committee often bars people to these venues for free. But US they want to take advantage of it and make money. So if you're going to go there, it's going to be very expensive. Hotel prices have shot sky high. If you think you could get a hotel for like $250, you will now have to be budgeting around $700 to $1,000 per night for a hotel. So people are running away, and there's some of the hotels in the US are beginning to complain about the fact that people are not patronizing their services. FIFA has already booked many of the hotels. So probably one of the reasons why the world is not picking the hotels that much.
2 weeks, hotels say bookings are lagging, and that could mean fewer international visitors spending money here in the Bay Area. Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara will host 6 World Cup soccer games starting in June. But a new survey from the American Hotel and Lodging Association suggests many hotels in San Francisco are not seeing the surge they initially expected. Nearly 80% of hotel operators in San Francisco, Seattle, Boston, and Philadelphia say bookings are trailing expectations and even lagging behind a typical summer season. Alex Bastian is head of the San Francisco Hotel Council.
When we saw them match schedules and team placements as well at the end of 2025, we recognized that we weren't getting any #1 seed teams. We weren't going to get the corresponding fan bases.
The Inn at the Presidio in San Francisco is 90% occupied and expects that number to remain fairly steady this summer. The occupancy rate would have been higher with stronger World Cup demand.
The majority of the hotels have prepared for this, and June is actually a very good month when it comes to our convention calendar already. So for us, the adjustments in general are minimal in nature.
The hotel says when gas prices and airline flights began to spike, it started to see fewer tourists and more local guests booking staycations. Jeff Belisario is executive director of the Bay Area Council Economic Institute.
I mean, it's not really like a Super Bowl in all these cities. It's a big event.
65 to 70% of hotels surveyed say visa and travel barriers and broader geopolitical concerns are significantly suppressing international demand.
It's still a positive. It will bring people in, but you now have all these, you have international headwinds just around the U.S. and its involvement in wars in the Middle East. You have higher costs generally. You have higher airfares. So I think the expectations were very high.
In fact, as you might imagine, those international travelers just so critical because they tend to stay longer than domestic travelers. So the issue for host cities like Seattle is the worry, the concern, that economic boost they were counting on and anticipating may not happen.
We are so excited. It's the World Cup after all. Come on. Yeah. The whole world will be here in Seattle.
Maybe not the whole world. A new report by the American Hotel and Lodging Association found hotel bookings are falling short of expectations at these U.S. host cities just weeks before the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
Initially, when it first came in, we thought it would be this huge lift for the whole month. But now that is actually, right around the corner, it's more peaks and valleys. Hi, this is Jay.
Jay Beatty is the sales and marketing director at the Inn at the Market, the 40-year-old hotel with an exclusive location
in the heart of Pike Place Market. No one has that but us.
Started booking rooms a year ago and thought it would be a golden opportunity.
We thought it would all go. And then a really good thing about us in Seattle, too, is June and July are our most popular travel months.
So you're not worried about it?
So occupancy is going to be there. It's the rate. What is the rate?
Out of 6 matches, they've sold out the Inn for 1 match. The others are filling up, but there is room at the Inn. The association says nearly 80% of respondents say hotel bookings are tracking below initial forecast, and some of the reasons cited: taxes and fees, FIFA room block cancellations, international travel concerns, fuel prices, and TSA issues.
There's no way I'm going to be able to ever afford that without taking out like a loan.
Pretty much everything is expensive.
to have a luxury to go to a game and spend thousands of dollars on a game instead of thousands of dollars on your personal needs.
Every hotelier in the city is feeling the crunch now, so it's time for everyone to really dig into their rates and see what they can do to incentivize people to stay with them.
That surprises me. That I don't understand that. It's the World Cup.
Despite more than 5 million tickets sold, the demand for hotel bookings remains far from pitch perfect.
I would hope that there's a lot of last-minute movement and that stuff gets filled up.
Yeah, that's what all the hotels are hoping as well. And there's still time. It could happen. The most popular match, by the way, of course, hands down, the USA when they take on Australia. That's on June 19th. The first matchup, June 15th. That's Belgium and Egypt. But here's something that's interesting. Iran's still on the schedule. One thing that I heard from Jay at the end of the market, he said, if that changes, there's rumors, talk, fingers crossed that maybe Italy would come instead. He said then he thinks that would also be a really big boost.
Now let me take you to FIFA Congress. In the build-up to the FIFA World Cup, a tournament that unites the world appears to have issues uniting Pakistan and Israel. FIFA President Gianni Infantino tried getting the FA President of Israel and the Vice FA President of Pakistan to shake hands. And guess what? The two of them refused to do it.
We will work together, President Rajoub, Vice President Suleiman. Let's work together. Let's work together to give hope to the children. Please, we work together. You have my commitment. You have the support of the whole room. Shukran jazilan. Okay, thank you very much to both representatives. These are, of course, as we know, very complex matters.
Infantino, I think with good intention, he's trying to have a joint photo or shake hands. But my analysis and my understanding that the Israeli representative is not a qualified partner to shake hands with him. He is defending Netanyahu and his government, which I think is isolated, and I think the whole world now believe that we are victims and the Israeli government should be sanctioned.
Yes, Palestinian FA President Efokinde is saying that, come on, we cannot shake hands with people who are killing us. Now, let's talk about Iran. Iran, they have issues. If you're aware, or you might have been aware of the fact that the U.S. decided to open fire against Iran over disagreements on certain things. And the U.S. President Donald Trump had earlier said that Iran, in their own interest, though U.S. is open to having them in the country, in their own interest, they shouldn't come because of the security situation. FIFA has been trying to work behind the scenes to ensure that they are able to get Iran to come and participate in the FIFA World Cup. But Gianni Infantino, who is the president of FIFA, had actually even said that it is possible Iran will play the World Cup, and they're going to play their matches in the U.S. Let's take a listen to this report.
The national team is not going to the US for traveling. We are going there for participating in the World Cup. So it is the responsibility of FIFA to create the appropriate necessary conditions. And we hope that FIFA does this for saving their own reputation. Some of the events of recent days have also not been favorable to FIFA's image.
Uncertainty surrounds Iran's participation at the FIFA World Cup despite FIFA's assertions. Iran is scheduled to play all its group stage games in the US, 2 in Los Angeles and 1 in Seattle. Earlier, an Iranian football delegation had returned home from the Toronto airport following an alleged insult from immigration authorities. The delegation was in Canada last week for the annual FIFA Congress in Vancouver. Iran was the only FIFA federation among the 211 member countries that did not have representation at the Congress. Canada's immigration minister later confirmed that the visa of Iranian football chief Mehdi Taj was cancelled over links with the Iran's Revolutionary Guards. Taj is a former member of the IRGC. Canada listed the IRGC as a terrorist entity in 2024, 5 years after the US did the same. Following the incident, Taj was called for respect towards the IRGC. He said, and I quote, "We need a guarantee there for our trip that they have no right to insult the symbols of our system, especially the IRGC. This is something they must pay serious attention to. If there is such a guarantee and the responsibility is clearly assumed, then an incident like what happened in Canada will not happen again. We are going to the World Cup for which we qualified, and our host is FIFA, not Mr. Trump or America." The US has made its stance clear regarding the Iranian football country.
It is not only Iran that is having issues with visas. Senegal FA, about 8 of the officials of the Senegalese FA have been denied visas to go with their national team to the FIFA World Cup. This is how we wrap up today's episode of Destination 2026. We'll be back again next week with some more World Cup news. And by that time, we'll probably be giving you some insights into what Carlos Queiroz is likely to be doing in his first game as Ghana's head coach. Continue to enjoy the rest of our programs. Up next is, get what? The lady with the, I don't know how to describe her voice. But stay tuned because she's got loads more to serve here on Joy Prime.
Hey, what's up?
Life. It's moving so fast. Yesterday I was in class 4. Today I'm almost in JHS. My shoes don't fit me anymore. My voice is deeper. I was watching cartoons, but now they say I'm too old for that.
The more things change, the more they'll stay the same. I still love you the same.
Come and sit that.
In a world that keeps changing, Calipo still keeps making sweet memories.
I still love it.
But I told you to have a sip, not to finish it.
Calipo food juice drink, making sweet memories. This advert is FDA approved.
Eko becho ake wobu noni wasumo be kume ejon shikenisa koni lahi sani akaba. Heba moje noni jiji oda ne eji tuebo alo tuefe mu kokobo ofe ni bibi je jale pena.
Lahi afabanfo Joshishinke Jomino ake makwemi hino jodban.
Good Conduct, Great Life is brought to you by
Indomie.
Tastes great.
More Kivo inside. Kivo Gari Soaking Mix. Taste of Ghana.
Hello, my name is Pamela from Customer Service. Please revalidate your account by texting your Ghana card number to 0500,000 247.
Hey, Abili, wabadim.
Madam, give me the numbers behind your ATM card. I'm calling from the head office.
An email was delivered across to our customers this morning.
Confirm if this is your bank account. 100-100-100.
Thanks for sending your bank card details.
Send the OTP now to avoid cancellation.
EcoBank will never call, email, send an SMS asking for your PIN, OTP, bank card, or Ghana card details.
Don't get played. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Hello, please, I'm calling from Customer Experience Center.
This Mother's Day, Joy Prime turns up the heat and serves love on the plate. 5 celebrities, 1 kitchen, endless flavor. Watch your favorite stars cook side by side with the amazing moms in their lives in an atmosphere of fun and music. Which celebrity do you want to see in the kitchen with your mom? Send your pics via WhatsApp to 055-157-5757.
Be a part of this year's Mother's Day celebrations. The venue is the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel. This Sunday, 10th May 2026 at 1 p.m. Come and experience live band performances from seasoned Ghanaian artists, plus win attractive prizes for your mom. Admission is free. Let's celebrate the hands that feed us.
Cook with Mom, Celebrity Edition, powered by Joy Prime and sponsored by Gino Truly Cares, City Black Tonicana, Eyedro Papa, GBH Hair Relaxer Cream, My Hair, My Crown, Max Buy, Happy Life, Woodin, Leclerc There, Vitamilk, Jasvina Juice, and what taste, and Bailey's, deliciously Bailey's.
Welcome to the Ghana Business Leaders Conclave, a rare time with His Royal Majesty Otumfuo Osei-Tutu II. This exclusive forum brings together CEOs, board members, policymakers, and captains of industry for a high-level closed-door dialogue on negotiation, mediation, and ethical governance for business sustainability, alongside a rare opportunity to engage in a deeply insightful conversation with one of Africa's most influential and widely respected traditional rulers. Theme: Leading with Integrity, Navigating Mediation and Ethical Governance for Business Sustainability. In today's complex and high-stakes business environment, the ability to make sound ethical decisions under pressure is critical. Join us on Friday, 15th May 2026 at 4 p.m. at the Kofi Ohene Konedu Auditorium on the UPSA campus. For RSVP or enquiries, kindly call 024-431-1996 or 024-587-9187. Be part of this defining conversation where leadership meets legacy and the future of ethical governance is shaped. The Ghana Business Leaders Conclave, a rare time with Otumfuo Osei-Tutu II.
My name is Dr. Josina Wachukweku, and on this episode, we are going to talk about male urethritis. So what is urethritis? Urethritis is an inflammation of the urethra, and the urethra is the tube in the penis where semen and urine flows through to the outside. That is the urethra. And several things can cause this inflammation. Most commonly, it's usually an infection. And less commonly, we can have other things like trauma, catheterization when you go to the hospital, or when you have prostate disease and you have to put in a catheter. Sometimes reactions to certain chemicals like spermicides when you're having sex and other things. But today our focus will be on the causes by infection. Basically, most of them are bacteria. The commonest is called gonorrhea. I'm sure we all know about gonorrhea, and the organism that causes gonorrhea is called Neisseria gonorrhoeae. Followed by that, we have one caused by Chlamydia trachomatis. Then less commonly, we have the Mycoplasma, we have the Uroplasma, we can have Trichomonas. But we are going to focus more on the gonorrhea and then the Chlamydia. Now, these inflammations, when it happens, or this infection of the urethra, usually have a urethral discharge. What is a discharge? A discharge is any liquid aside urine or semen that will come out of your urethra. So if you're a man and you see anything coming out, any form of liquid, whether it is thick or light, coming out of your urethra, and then it is not urine and it is not semen, then you have a urethral discharge. Most of the time when you have discharge, you can have some burning sensation or pain on urination. So when you have these things happening, then you're having a urethritis. That is an infection of your urethra. So for the gonorrhea, usually when you have it, it happens speedily. Like within 3 to 4 days, you realize that you're seeing the discharge and you're having this burning sensation, and it's really, really uncomfortable. For the chlamydia, it's usually very slow. It happens slowly over a period of time, and it takes a very long time, but then you realize that no, this thing has been happening, so let me see a doctor, or let me do something about it. The discharge for the gonorrhea is usually white or opaque yellow, and the one for the chlamydia is either watery or mucoid, and sometimes it's usually very small. That is the major differentiation, but you can't just, look at it and say that I have gonorrhea or I have chlamydia. You have to come and see your doctor. Now, these infections are STIs. That is, they are sexually transmitted. So for you to have them, then you must have engaged in an unprotected sex, or you are being promiscuous. That means you're having sex with different other people. And because of that, it is a disease of the young. Most commonly, people around 25 years or less, they are the ones who usually get these kind of infection. Others can get it, the older ones can get it, but you realize that it's very common in the younger ones and people who have very bad sexual habits. So now when you realize that you have a discharge and you have painful urination, then you should know that you're having an STI. And because it's an STI, it is very likely that you can have other STIs happening, like HIV, herpes, syphilis, and all others. So when you come and see your doctor, the doctor will try and eliminate the other causes or other type of STIs as well. So our dear gentlemen, please, if you see any of these symptoms, please rush to your nearest facility, see your doctor, and get treated. We have our